So now let's talk about the learning and development piece of the workforce. So obviously, when we were in the cubicles talking to each other, there's a lot of learning and development. There's a lot of serendipity happening. There's a lot of conversation, that water cooler conversation happening. Now we are all in our cubicle, in our home cubicles, looking at our webcams all the time. And I think one thing that as a technologist we are seeing pretty overwhelming around what's happening is, like, there are platform which offers a lot of content, right? So they have like amazing army of content that people can chew. So many businesses quickly jumped on saying, hey, just throw all the content at people and hopefully they'll stick to it, right? But then our time is linear, right? And then what this last 1 year showed us was that tech, things are changing rapidly and we need to evolve. We need to be trained and retrained and relearned with this new reality. So when you look about your organization, like, what are some of your learning and development challenges that you are seeing with this new reality, and how are you planning to cope up, or you are doing something to cope up with this?
Yes. Oh, goodness. So learning and development is so important. I think learning agility as a competency, probably, especially today, just critical. The libraries, you have to be self-motivated, right? So if you're going to want to learn about something, regardless of if it's a technical skill or just a behavioral competency, you have to be self-motivated to go seek out that content, even if it's served up to you, right? And then disciplined, sit down, watch the course, and then do something with your learning. And what I would say, and now all of our learning providers out there will hate me for saying this, if we don't do anything with the content, it's like sitting down to watch the television. And we can't get that 45 minutes or that 3 hours back, right? It's wasted time. So what we have actually done, and goodness, I want to say it's about 6 months ago, we launched our first virtual People Leader series. And so, yes, we have LinkedIn Learning. And so we took new managers and gave them 8 courses, and existing leaders, whether you had 90 days of people leadership experience or 25 years. And we created cross-functional cohorts. And it is asynchronous learning. So you participate in that module that we assign to you, and you have 3 weeks to watch it. You then join a discussion group, which is led by one of our senior leaders. So you have a cohort that you're going through with, and you discuss the content with your cohort group and that senior leader. And then you have a small group, like 3 or 4 people, to have some sort of dialogue with. And we haven't dictated, but we wanted it to be like a tight-knit group. You could say, okay, so I'm going to go practice this skill, or, oh my gosh, this is what happened to me yesterday and I blew it, right? But just some safe small group that, again, is virtual in nature. And then lastly, we ask you to continue to apply the skill. And so over the course of, oh goodness, I think it will end up being about 8 months, and folks are maybe 3 months in right now. Every month we launch a new cohort. And the idea is we need to be continuously learning. And so far, we've had 3 months of these experiences. It's been really positive, because it's about, okay, so I'm going to be disciplined and I'm going to watch this course. But I'm on the hook because I know I have to talk to you and 7 of my other, or 17 of my other colleagues about it. And then a week later, I'm going to be invited to a small group. And so I have to have a story of what I've done with it, or maybe not, because I haven't engaged with anyone to exercise the skill. And then I know somebody's going to follow up with me to say, hey, what are you doing differently? Or are you not doing anything differently? So there's accountability worked into it. And we've had really good sponsorship of the program, but also participation. We do not record any of the sessions. We tell them that it is their responsibility, right, to stay with their cohort. And if you miss a session, phone a friend, right? Again, allowing the relationship to continue. In January, we are launching the same concept, but specifically to change management. And so we will do blended programs for managers and then for individual contributors. And we have I think it's a 6 module change management series. We will run it the exact same way, but with the next level down of leaders. And so they will end up being the voices that guide these conversations. I think in today's day and age, learning can't stop. We have to continue. So we have to embrace the technology and we have to figure out when you can't have the experiential piece, right? We can't send people necessarily to the outdoor adventure or gather them together for an exercise. How do we allow that construct to continue? And I'm a huge fan of experiential learning, huge. When I was with the Adecco group, they actually were big spearheaded of going to amazing universities. And I literally remember going to Switzerland and we were in the mountains and there were cows with bells and we had these experiences, but I learned about myself and my personal leadership style. And I learned about what I was confident and comfortable saying and doing in a multicultural cultural environment and what I wasn't. And so I miss the experiential. Like I can't wait I'm hoping one day we can get back to it and do that. But in the absence of that, we have to be much more creative and it can't just be screens, right? So we've started testing and toying with, here's an instruction sheet. We want you to go do this in your personal life. And something as simple as, from a change perspective, go home a different way. So whether you're walking, you're riding your bike, or you're driving your car, we want you to specifically drive home a different way. And the next time we get together, talk to us about what did you feel? How did that work? What experience did you have? What was the exposure? But we have to figure out silly things like that allow people to learn, right? And to learn in this day and age.
I think so. You are the second person who gave me this concept of take a different path. So I think I remember going to I think Minneapolis, and I was driving with this guy, and he said that his modus operandi with his kids is every time when he comes back to the house, he has to just let go of his GPS and just take the weird road.
Love
I
it.
said, but and I was like, I was amazed, and he said, and then my kids get so paranoid because they have to look around where if they don't help out, the dad is going to go missing or whatever. So they used to have so much fun, and it's a fascinating idea. I think once you said that, it reminded me of that experience. It's you're spot on.
Yes. Right. There's something about getting lost purposefully.
Yeah, well said.